Hello, and it is good to be back from a family vacation trip that brought some time off following the CBS News radio shutdown frantic end. We went to Cincinnati's Sign Museum, which I really wanted to see, and my wife agreed to do. It is a place largely dedicated to neon signs. We eventually found our way down through Tennessee, including a stop in Lexington, and met up with our grand twins and our daughter and her husband to enjoy time at Dollywood. We get back into the news with the president having accepted an agreement that Iran has accepted to halt the war centered around the Persian Gulf. But oh, how things changed overnight. Vice President J.D. Vance took to the White House briefing room podium Thursday to talk up the deal in the face of criticism from a whole bunch of Republicans in the Senate especially, blasting it as opening up the Strait of Hormuz and allowing Iran to export its oil, plus sets a path for Iran to possibly getting back hundreds of billions of dollars frozen by the United States and other places because of Iran's support for terrorism.
And the simple fact is that the only way the Iranians get any of those resources, not a single penny, by the way, from the United States of America under any circumstances, but the only way that they would ever get any benefit of the bargain is if they comply fully and change their behavior. And so you really have a win-win situation for the United States of America.
Within 12 hours of Mr. Vance saying that, his plan to travel to Switzerland for direct talks with Iranian representatives was postponed. That's because Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu decided to continue attacks on Hezbollah in Lebanon, which Iran insists must stop. Aside from that are a lot of Republicans, especially in the Senate, including Ted Cruz, who've blasted the Iran deal as disclosed. But the strait is slowly being reopened from this U.S. stranglehold, being reopened from that. And that gets the price of oil down, which Donald Trump wants to happen so badly. He's taking whatever Iran is willing to give. Cruz told reporters the president is, quote, receiving some very poor advice on this deal. It's important to point out that what President Trump is accepting to end an unpopular military campaign is just about the same as the Obama-Iran nuclear agreement Donald Trump tore up in his first term. That agreement involved 5 nations and the Chinese who jumped in back then, since they need a lot of oil from Iran. Fast forward to today. What is also unclear in the Trump version now is how and to what country or international organization Iran's enriched uranium will be transferred. But remember, the U.S. going along with Iran's desire to end the war has brought down the price of oil and prices at the pump. Democrats don't have to criticize the deal. All that nuclear stuff that was the basis for the conflict will somehow get worked out. It costs less to drive now. And speaking of former President Obama, Thursday brought the official dedication of the Presidential Center, that they aren't called libraries anymore. At the event in Chicago, Barack Obama talked about the goodness Americans can aspire to and equality, etc. But as the other living ex-presidents sat nearby, there was this lengthy ideals paragraph in his address that unmistakably targeted Mr. Obama's successor and the current president.
A belief in the intrinsic dignity and worth of all people, and that no one is above the law or beneath its protection. A belief in checks and balances in our government and an accountability that comes with an independent judiciary and a robust free press. A belief that our military and law enforcement owe allegiance not to any president or political party, but to the people and our Constitution. A belief in the peaceful transfer of power after the people have spoken in fair and free elections, recognizing that in a large, complicated society like ours, no group or faction gets its way 100% of the time. And a belief that qualities of character honesty, integrity, kindness, compassion, a sense of duty and honor. Those things matter in our public dealings, just as they do in our private lives. These are not, and they are not Republican or Democratic values. They're American values we can all share, regardless of party. Values every president here today, as different as we are, has tried our best to uphold. Values that John McCain and Mitt Romney believed in no less than I did. It is our greatest inheritance, the story of America at its best, because...
At the end there, you see Cindy McCain, the widow of Senator John McCain, who lost the presidential election to Mr. Obama in 2008. Stevie Wonder, Bruce Springsteen, and Jennifer Hudson closed with a musical tribute as Stephen Colbert, Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, Al Sharpton, and former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau were also on hand for the dedication. With Ear on the White House, I'm Bob Costantini.